The Niners just gave out the biggest contract they've ever given out. 5 years, $265 million to Brock Purdy. That's $53 million a year on average. $165 million guaranteed for the first 3 years. That's $55 million a year on average for those first 3 years, not counting 2025. What are your thoughts on this deal? Good, not so good?
I'm excited to see how it's structured because if they have an out in 2027, which is when John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan's contract expire, I don't hate it. If they can move off of it without having a ton of dead cap, it makes sense. They've chosen Brock Purdy to be their guy. Now, I don't necessarily think after only 2 years you need to pay a guy a 5-year deal. Um, but it doesn't make him it doesn't reset the quarterback market. It doesn't make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. He's making closer to what Tua got. Um, I think it's averaged 7th highest average annual per year, 8th average in total guarantees. So yes, that's high. I don't know if Brock Purdy deserves to be paid top 10, but compared to the fact that most quarterbacks are resetting the market, it kind of shows that they don't believe in him, enough to pay him that much. So feels like they both gave a little bit. I've been pretty vocal about the fact that I wish that they would have let him or made him play out this year. But if you're not going to make him play out this year, get it done early. It's done in May. That's, unheard of recently. So I'm glad that they at least did that.
No more drama. It's over. We don't have to ask questions anymore. My only thing with this is I was hoping that Brock was going to maybe get that 48 mil. 53 is not too much of a difference, so it's like, 53 per year, that's okay. And it is kind of, I feel like me and Grant, we were having a conversation about this earlier on in this off season, talking about, is that like 5 million or whatever we thought the difference was going to be between like a 45 million deal to the 50s? Is it worth all of the drama being done? And right now I'm kind of feeling good. Like the drama's over. He's locked in. It's a little more than I was expecting. I'll die on it though. Like that's okay.
Connor, you didn't want the Mac Jones quarterback competition this offseason with
Oh
that.
man, would have loved that. Oh my goodness. A battle of the true elites, Brock Purdy and Mac Jones. That would have been amazing.
I hate to be like predictable, but I don't really like this deal. I feel like the Niners negotiated against themselves. I mean, it's one thing to extend him, but $53 million a year, like, would another team really have paid him that much? And if not, like, why did the Niners do it? I feel like the Niners got a lot of flack early in the offseason for like not doing anything, letting a bunch of players go, being seemingly cheap. And then now they get to sort of take a victory lap because they have an easy schedule and they just gave a ton of money to a guy who was already on their team. And they're going to say like, well, this year we have all of our business done before OTAs and we have an easy schedule. So we're going to be good. And I don't really buy that. Like, I don't think this extension, getting it done in May, means that they'll be better in September. But at least, like to Conor's point, at least there's no drama. That's good. Drama doesn't help. But I mean, dude, like this, you just gave out the Tua deal. Do you really want to be the Dolphins? Is he that much better than Tua? I mean, I thought last year was kind of concerning, and you're like a kind of rewarding a guy after a 6-win season. That's dangerous. I don't
The
know.
Dolphins aren't happy with that deal, right? Like they would want to take it back. So I don't know if the 49ers would want to replicate what they're doing.
I think those two players too are like vastly different, to be honest. Like Tua and Brock, I feel like there is a big difference in their game. And if I had to choose my quarterback, I think I'd choose Brock. And I'm not even a Brock fanboy either. I just am really not high on Tua. So I think if you compare it to that, it's a worthwhile deal, honestly. Like if we're trying to compare it to Tua, it's great. If you compare it to a lot of other quarterbacks who are getting paid like they're like average year to year, it's definitely not amazing. But I'm taking it. Like it's okay in today's quarterback market.
I don't want to turn this into a Tua versus Purdy thing, but if they were both on the open market, I wonder if Tua would make more. He was a first overall pick. He has a stronger arm. He can throw a beautifully accurate ball. His issues, in my opinion, are mostly that Dolphins O line, which is an issue on the Niners too, and his health. But Brock Purdy hasn't been a picture of health. Obviously, his injury concerns aren't as serious as Tua's, so I could see that being a point for Brock Purdy. But I mean, he's had throwing shoulder and throwing elbow injuries. Maybe, for his own personal self, it's not as bad as Tua, but for what you can do for an NFL franchise, I think, he hasn't been a picture of health.
Forget Tua for a second because he's AFC. Let's compare Brock to some NFC quarterbacks. So he's currently making more money than Jalen Hurts, who's getting $51 million a year on average. He's making more money than Matthew Stafford, who's getting paid $40 million a year on average. He's making more money than Jaden Daniels, obviously, who's on a rookie deal. So just in terms of like the Niners' outlook for the future, I think it's going to be tough for them to be as good as those top teams in the NFC. Like maybe they can be as good as Detroit, but I feel like Detroit's going to kind of fall back down to earth without Ben Johnson when they're spending a lot of money on Jared Goff. Like those are the teams that you really got to compete with in the NFC, the Rams, the Commanders, and the Eagles. And I feel like this contract is going to make it so difficult for the Niners to really compete with them. I mean, maybe that's getting too far ahead of things, but like that's what you play to do, right? To like win the Super Bowl. This gives the Niners like organizational stability, but I don't see how it puts them in a better position to like for that quest for 6. Are we still on the quest for 6? Are we doing the quest or did we stop? Are we camping?
I mean, you absolutely need to build your team to be able to win your division, to be able to win the NFC, and to be able to win the Super Bowl. The thing that you just said about like organizational stability gave me like kind of scary thoughts because I'm like, I don't want to be the Cowboys. Like, oh, the Cowboys locked up Dak, but are they actually ever in competition? And if you think you mentioning the Commanders was specifically interesting because the 49ers were just in a position where they had the largest bargain in the NFL. Brock Purdy was the largest bargain in the NFL with being Mr. Irrelevant on that contract. And they just went from having a steal to now paying that guy top 7. Can he play like a top 7 quarterback? And the Washington Commanders, they get to bolster up their talent. They get to bolster up their offensive line, their defense, their weapons. The 49ers, can Brock Purdy play well enough to make up for not having an O-line? You said, earlier on this offseason, the 49ers might be feeling pressure because they didn't go out. They didn't get Drew Dolman at center. They didn't go out and get an offensive lineman in the draft or in free agency. Can Brock Purdy overcome that? And if he can't, is he going to get hurt? And now you're paying $53 million for him to, be injured and Mac Jones to be playing anyways? I don't know.
I mean, the big question mark, honestly, in all of this that I feel like determines the future for the 49ers is kind of what you're hitting on the most, Brock Purdy's health. If Brock Purdy is going to get hurt at all during this contract, the window's really screwed. And we've seen it happen in the past. If Brock Purdy is able to remain healthy throughout this contract, I think it opens their window still and they really have a chance. Because if you have a quarterback that has played in the Super Bowl, I think that means something, as much as we want to rag on Brock, like that is something that's really important. You've been there, you've seen what happened, you know what to do next time. And I think as long as the health stays there, we're good. We're good.
So Brock has started 36 games in the regular season, plus that one where he came in like after the first drive. So let's say that 37 almost full games in the regular season, plus 6 in the playoffs. That's 43 games essentially in his career. He's gotten injured 4 times. He got injured in his first start against, I want to say, Tampa Bay. Didn't miss a game, but got injured. Then he blew out his elbow. Not his fault. That was a big injury. Then last year, he hurt his shoulder, missed a game, came back, hurt his elbow again, end of the season. 4 injuries in 43 starts. Like, that's roughly 1 a season. And that's concerning considering how much they're paying him and his frame and his history. So, yeah, like beyond the fact that he's coming off a down year and his resume is thin, you'd have to call him injury prone. And if he were to get another injury, you'd have to look at it as like, you know what? You ignored something really big, a big red flag on his resume, and you gave him the money anyway. So we'll see.
So what do you do? Sorry, just like
downside making him play out the next year, I feel like. Because you could have gotten more data. Okay.
Drama.
To me,
they spent a premium to just have like a drama-free organization, but it's like, to me, You could call it
Just like
drama or you could call it competition. Like, there's a way to frame it. But Connor, what were you going to say?
Honestly, I got distracted by a fly, but I think what I was gonna get at is just reiterating what you were talking. I had to kill the fly, man. I'm sorry. That motherfucker was really just flying around the room. I had to get him. But no, I agree with exactly, dude. Like, they're the worst. Like, worst. Can't do it. But I just wanted to reiterate what you were saying, is that you're paying that money for less drama. And when you don't have that drama and you make your quarterback happy, a lot of good things happen. If you look at any team recently that has pissed off their quarterback, the future does not look good for them typically. It never really looks too bright. The Packers, they got Jordan Love in the background, but when Aaron Rodgers left, that was yucky. I mean, honestly, now it's just going to be an Aaron Rodgers thing because it's the same thing with the Jets. They look yucky too. Like, it's just, no matter what you look at it, there's always some bad things. The Steelers, boom, lose both their quarterback. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. The app is really easy to use. To make a lineup, all you have to do is pick more or less on a few players' stats. You can play Prize Picks in over 40 states, including California and Texas. Best of all, Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50. Basketball season is here, and there's no better time to get in. Just use promo code COHN, COHN, and download Prize Picks now.
Can I say, I think both of those organizations just didn't handle the drama well. If you look at Lamar Jackson, he played out his contract, and the Ravens have they have a great coach. They have a great staff. They held themselves to a standard. They didn't let the quote unquote drama of Lamar Jackson playing out an extra year destroy their season. Instead, they helped it, propel them into greatness. Okay, Lamar Jackson is on a mission to prove what he's worth. We're going to keep it moving. And we have our goal to go to the Super Bowl, go to the playoffs, to play, have a great season. And we're not going to let, I don't know, to me, that the drama thing shows that you're not a very secure organization and you don't have a great standard. If the quarterback not being there is going to derail things.
To me, also, like, this is a very player-friendly deal. Like, we thought the Niners might play a little hardball here. Like, he gets $55 million a year for the first 3 years. He gets it right away. I mean, they caved quick. They gave him pretty much what he wanted. I mean, maybe he wanted $60 million a year, but $55 million for the first 3 is great for him. And one more thing, like, they can say, like, okay, well, we're paying him like a top 7 quarterback. Maybe he's not a top 7 quarterback, but he's put up those numbers on our team. In our context, he can be that, which is true. I mean, that's factual, but it seems to me that, like, so much of that depends on 2 guys, McCaffrey and Williams. Like, when CMC's not out there, he's not as efficient. He pushes the ball down the field more. He takes more risks. He holds the ball longer. We saw that last year. And then without Trent, that pocket is just, that offensive line is awful. I don't understand what the point of putting any highly paid quarterback behind an offensive line that doesn't have Trent Williams. So as long as Christian and Trent are here for the next 5 years and playing at a high level, the Niners are great. They'll be fine, and this contract will work out. But otherwise, they might have to figure some things out.
How old are both of those players right now?
A little old. They're both a little old.
Technically, Christian's only 28, and
he's
Trent's
younger,
36, which I would kill to be 36. Kill.
I would not.
37 is a whole different ballgame.
I mean, that's insane. If you're adding 5 years to those ages, and them playing at the top of their level. You're
saying that Trent Williams can't play when he's 42? Wow, you're just writing him off.
I'm saying that we've seen regression, and if you're not willing to acknowledge that Trent, although still an incredible player, is not playing at his highest level, then you're blinded by your fandom.
I do think that there's like an honest question that I want to ask you guys now, in like the sense of, let's say Christian McCaffrey, injuries happen, he's gone out of the league in 2 years, right? Worst case scenario that happens. Do we not have any faith in Brock Purdy's ability to maybe improve and start to, see things and do a lot better plays, increasing precision in certain zones of the like throwing? Like, do we not think that's possible, or do you think Shanahan's going to drag him down so much that he cannot even get to a point where the contract has value to you? That's where I'm really curious.
The ending part of that question was really interesting, because when you started it, I was like, okay, well, it's hard to just like say you're going to write off a player and that there's no room for improvement. Although I do think he's probably closer to his ceiling my initial reaction, I was like, okay, he's making a good point. And then you said the Shanahan thing. If you look at quarterbacks who have been with Shanahan long term, they get worse. Their confidence goes down. Their independence, their ability to think on their feet actually regresses. So
Well,
it's kind of
can we go
interesting.
systematically with Brock though? Like where could he improve? I don't think his arm's going to get much stronger. I don't think he's going to become much better of a deep passer. He's already a very good scrambler. He's a hell of an intermediate passer. He's got great touch over the middle. Is he going to become more accurate? Maybe. Is he going to become like a better decision maker and throw fewer picks? He needs to. He freaking needs to. Like that, maybe there. So I think, yeah, he can get better. I don't know if he can like become a whole lot better, but he can absolutely he needs to make incremental progress because to me, he's not as good as people make him out to be. He had a great year in 2023 and he gets hailed as being this incredible decision maker and processor. I don't think he's proven that yet. I think he's had moments, but when you're on a team like the 2023 team where someone's open on every play, if not 2 or 3 guys, man, I don't know if it's processing. Now is the time to prove it, and he can. We'll see.
I think when I'm bringing up the Shanahan thing too, what my brain was going to that was the idea of him being able to take control more of offense, call more audibles, change a lot of different things. And I'm worried that maybe Shanahan won't let him do that. But I think as long as he's able to show stuff, maybe Shanahan, his ways change and he gives him some more freedom.
It's just interesting. Like, do you think that now that Brock Purdy's getting paid all this money, that Shanahan will treat him differently? Like, hey, man, you've kind of been my joystick for a while. I tell you what to do. I press the buttons on the PlayStation controller and you freaking do it. Now you got a little bit of ownership. Now we're going to install some hurry up offense where you call the plays and you're in control. And hey, actually, I'm going to let you dictate the protections sometimes. And you can call in all of it. Is that an audible? Is that coming? Or is it just like, hey, Brock, don't get it twisted. Just because it's just the market, baby. It's still my offense.
This is my team. Okay, Brock, this is my team. I think it also to like that thought. And then the other thought that I was thinking about too is I've always seen this thing of athletes. Okay, do your thing. It's you and me, Ashley. Forget the Cohn zone.
Athletes.
Say it again.
You said you're seeing a thing with athletes.
Oh yeah. Thing with athletes being that when they do get that bag, they slowly realize, oh, there we go, got a charge. They slowly, don't try as much. They're like, I was working to get the bag. I got the bag. Now I can kind of ease off the gas a little bit. Is Brock going to be that too? Like he gives off the impression of a blue collar guy, but is he going to?
Obviously, we don't know, or you do, I guess, Grant, but I don't know Brock personally. I would think one of the reasons that you pay a guy, top 10 money who doesn't have a top 10 arm and maybe hasn't consistently played at a top 10 level is because you do believe in his football mindset. I think if they're banking on anything, it's not his, accuracy is going to improve. I think that they think he's a football guy and that he's not going to stop trying. He's not going to be the guy who gets paid and goes and buys 3 Lambos. And
that's what I was going to ask. New question for the group. Do you guys think that Brock Purdy will change?
Oh, dude, you missed this. You missed this.
Brock Purdy,
like up already.
Because like he used to be the guy. Did I miss this?
Yeah. You went and get your charger, and that was sorry. Exactly what I was just
thinking. Like, he used to be the guy who would show up to the games wearing JCPenney. You know what I mean? Like, was that all an act? Is he going to be coming out looking like Joe Burrow now and like straight up Balenciaga? You know what I mean?
If I see Brock Purdy come out iced out with like Supreme with like some, I'm gonna lose my. That's gonna be so funny.
I like him so much more if he has like that kind of a evolution. Because I like the like howdy doody all American boy. It's very endearing, man. But like now, you gotta like this is chapter 2 of your persona, and there's gotta be growth. There has to. I need to see a little bit. Like he's been the PG Brock for 3 years. And we like PG Brock, man. That's sold out. It's a blockbuster event, but I want to see rated R Brock now, okay? I want to see I don't know if we're on his side or not. I don't know where he's coming from. I want that Brock.
You want like current, you want the John Cena wrestling arc, like good guy era, super nice guy. Now he's like, you know what? F you kids. Like, I don't care. Like that's the vibe.
Yeah. My camp for kids. F the kids. Sorry.
But think
We're
about
done.
the quarterbacks that Kyle likes, and I imagine that Brock Purdy doesn't get paid if it doesn't have the stamp of approval from Kyle on it. Kyle loved Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was wearing flannels after making shit tons of money because he's just gone wherever has paid him the most forever. So
What about the chains,
I'm
though?
not trying
What
to
about the
poo-poo your. I
chains?
like I like your when you do that voice and your eyes light up, Grant. But I would bet that Brock Purdy stays very similar, or at least that the 49ers think that he will. And that if he does start showing up in Balenciaga, they're going to be upset because they're paying him, once again, not for his skill set, but because they think he's a football first guy. They don't think any of this other stuff matters, and they don't think money's going to change him. John Lynch went on Chris Sims' podcast and talked about money changing players and how it really makes him side eye players. He's met a couple players. This is pure speculation. I think one of those players he was talking about was Jimmy Garoppolo because he talked about
I think
football
another one they were talking about was Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the thing. You don't know how money's going to change this guy because he hasn't had it. He hasn't freaking had it. What if he decides that he loves Ferraris?
You know what? Now
What
I
if he decides that he really loves, I don't know. What if he decides that Toyota's just not doing it for him anymore? You know what, Toyota? Thanks, but no thanks.
Bye-bye. I don't want your sponsorship anymore.
I like Aston Martins. That's what I like. I like that. No, I'm now just have an amazing thought in my head of what if Brock just goes, this is not going to happen at all, but just a dream with me for a second that he goes on like a Shaq big contract tour of like literally spending all of the money, like all of it in like a week. It's like, oh yeah, I want to buy like a hotel. I'm going to buy 5 houses, 20
private
cars.
jet.
Oh wait, I'm out of money. Oh shoot. Like that that would be so, I'd feel terrible, but that'd be so
Oh,
fun.
Trent Williams has a private jet. I have 5 private jets.
Yeah, actually, I have a Boeing 737. Like, yeah, what are you gonna do?
Oh, Kyle has a little cabana in Cabo. I have an entire resort.
God, oh my God, it's so fun to dream.
To portray organizational stability, the 49ers paid Jimmy Garoppolo the second that they could. And they didn't bolster their offensive line, and he almost immediately got hurt. And so part of us, we can say Jimmy was never worth it, that he didn't have the right mindset. But part of us will never know what he would have been like if he didn't get injured immediately after getting paid. And when you look back and you say what a bad deal that is, a lot of that is his play. I mean, he couldn't move after he got injured. He was tap dancing in the pocket. Is
Let me
this
say something real
year
quick about
quick,
what
really
York
quick,
said.
this
Oh, go ahead.
schedule,
Sorry.
really quick, because this schedule, everyone's talking about how easy it is, how great it's going to be. Is there a possibility that right now they're portraying organizational stability, they're paying Brock Purdy, but then they didn't bolster this offensive line and Brock Purdy gets hurt and is never the same? I mean, that's something that I'd be more fearful about.
I
If their
agree.
mindset really was, we can't spend in free agency because we have to pay Brock, to me, their mindset was like, their objective was wrong. You have to be able to protect the player that you're about to pay.
Agree. And it's funny, like they extend Brock a day after selling 6.2% of their franchise, 6.2%. So there was a report early in the offseason that they were looking to sell up to 10%. Then at the owners' meetings, York was asked about what's that about. And he said it's a family asset allocation decision. Direct quote, family asset allocation decision. It's one of those word salads that kind of sounds like it means something, but it really doesn't. But I guess they were allocating those family assets to Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Wait, that's who it's getting sold to? Wait, what?
Well, I mean, they sold they sold
Okay, wait,
6.2% of their franchise to get
I knew that. Yeah.
$500 million, which they turned around and gave half of to Brock. So I don't think it's any coincidence that this deal gets done a day after they sell 6% of their franchise. And that's how big of a deal this is. They had to sell part of their freaking franchise to get this done. So Brock essentially owns 6%, although he doesn't own any, but kind of.
Imagine being those families too. Like, oh, hey, like, yeah, I got you here, Brock. Yeah, I did that with my 2.2%. I did it.
Thank me.
Talk about someone who's like invested in his success.
Yeah, really
Jesus.
invested. Maybe that's what they sold him on. Like Jed was in the like meeting with them discussing selling it, and he's like, "Hey guys, you want Brock to stay? Then you have to buy the team. You have to, or else I'm not doing it. That's it."
Well, I think that they kind of admitted they were a bit of a cash poor family. Like they had a lot of money, but they didn't have it up front. And in order to sign someone to an extension, they actually have to have the money in escrow. Am I right, Grant?
Correct. The guaranteed money. So if it's 181 guaranteed, they got to put that in an escrow account. They have to have the cash. And the thing about the Niners Enterprises, they're worth almost $10 billion, but they're invested in so many things, including multiple soccer teams. So whether clearly they didn't have the cash, then they got it yesterday and they just handed it over to Brock. So Brock, well, he doesn't get it yet. It's in an escrow account. I don't really understand how money works. I'm 37 years old and I'll never have escrow accounts. No one's going to ever have to worry about that with me. But Brock, congratulations.